welcome. I figured it out. Welcome everyone to Hashtag Nation. This is the first episode of Tailgate Talk. My name is Mike. I am a Hashtag Nation loyalist, and my partner in crime will be this handsome man in the shades. This is Tommy from the Mafia Sports Report, and welcome everybody. This has been not much, man. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, bro. Months and months. And Paul and Mario, thank you. They got the job done. We are here. And we hope you guys like our content and just enjoy the show, man. This is going to be a fun ride. Great season of Buffalo Bills. And yeah, man, let's do this.
All right, so we will start with, Tailgate Talk is actually going to be sponsored by Mr. Rogers Homes. And we're going to go ahead and pay some bills, so we'll be right back.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!
That's our friend.
Love it. Love the enthusiasm from Mr. Rogers. Love the name, by the way. I mean, I know it's his name, but, Mr. Rogers takes me back to Mr. Rogers. So how can you not trust Mr. Rogers, right? I mean, come on.
Right?
So what's up, Mikey? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am.
For some preseason football, baby.
I am. Well, I'm ready for week 2 of preseason football. So we're we'll see Dion Dawkins, and that's where we'll start tonight. Was with Dion. I was a little skeptic when Sean came on his presser and was talking about how far he was from being able to help the football team. So hearing that he's going to play tonight, and then hearing his presser where he talked about how he had COVID and he was in the hospital for 4 days and he felt like he wasn't sure if he was going to make it. That's a scary topic, man.
Yeah, bro. That's obviously they kept this on the low, him being in the hospital, because obviously he was the first to come out and tell everybody, which was smart because, if it came out early on that he was in the hospital, it would have been so blown up, man, to maybe worse. Who knows? You know how the media overreacts, Twitter overreacts. So, but, hey, man, I guess it was pretty bad. And I'm just glad he got through this. And in a weird way, I'm kind of glad it happened to a high-profile player that's on our team, so he can kind of relate the message to other players more about, hey, man, this is what I felt. It's no joke. You might want to reconsider, for the guys that haven't got the vaccine. But once again, it's up to you. And I love his message about that. He wasn't forcing anybody, but he was speaking the truth. And now I get why the coach came out and said he's far away from being ready because, man, it took a toll on his body, I'm sure. He lost weight. And I'm sure right now he's just trying to get his breathing back and just, get physically ready for the grind of football, man. So, yeah, I'm glad to see him. I don't think you're going to see him for that many sets, but just to see him out there, man, thank God, bro, because I couldn't deal with Bobby Hart, man. God forbid if we had to start the season with him, he'd be in some danger, bro.
Oh, God, the turnstile that is Bobby Hart, I mean, he made Okora look like his brother, like that was the younger one that, was trying to make a team, and he made him look like an all-pro, just blowing by him, which scared me. I will tell you, it scared me because you heard all, for the last 2 weeks, all about how Basham and Groot and AJ were just whipping our tackles. And I'm like, man, were they just going against Hart only? Because if that's the case, that doesn't tell me much.
Yeah. No, I mean, watching the game, I mean, I zoom in, man. I don't wear the shades when I watch, man. So I zoom in and he got I think he was just getting beat by speed, man. It just looked like he was slower than the defensive tackle, the edge that was going around him. Man, he was just like he looked bad, bro. And Spencer Brown, like I can understand Spencer Brown giving up sack or giving up because he's a rookie, but he's going to get better. I think Spencer Brown has a good upside, but man, Bobby Hart, God, goodness gracious, like I wish he pulled like Avante Davis, right? Third quarter, he just leaves and he takes an Uber and he gets the hell out of just leaves us.
Right?
Bobby
right?
Uber Hart, man. Get the hell out of here, man. Like that would have been so great. Right.
I love this comment from Mr. Diggs. Did you see McD looking at his watch during his interview? He had things to do. When he was talking during his last press conference, he kept looking like, how much time do I got left? He did not want to be there.
I guarantee you, though, like even the players, like those interviews, those press conferences are so repetitive. I'm sure they're just like, God, here's the same lame ass question that I get asked every week, and they know I'm gonna have to give the same lame ass normal answer that. Like it's like McDermott, like, okay, here we go again.
How many different times can I answer this? Or how many different ways can you ask the same question?
Right.
Because if you listen to them, they all ask pretty much the same thing, just in a different way, hoping to get a different answer. And he always says, like I said before, that's the Sean McDermott, saying, if I've ever heard one. Like I said before. Yeah. But
you ain't get you ain't getting.
It's part of the gig.
Shit. You are not getting shit out of McDermott. Like I'm telling you right now, he's no Rex Ryan. Put it that way.
Dude. Like I realized how I always knew the Bills were tight-lipped when it came to McDermott and Bean's era. Like you don't get nothing from them. But when I realized Dion was in the hospital and we heard nothing. Like they have it tight-lipped.
Yeah, bro.
Because you're telling me nobody in the organization knew that he was in the hospital and not a single thing leaked?
Yeah, including the players. I mean, nobody said nothing, man. Like I had no idea. I just thought when he said, he's way behind. I just thought, oh, he's just probably out of shape. He hasn't played a little bit. He's missed all the OTAs, whatever. I just figured that. I didn't know dude was like feeling like he was on his deathbed because that's pretty much what he said. I mean, and which is wild.
I like this one from John. He says it might have been a HIPAA violations if they had leaked it. Touche. So, we'll pop into some of the topics. We started with Dion Presser. We talked about a little bit. What I want to know is, with Dion playing this week, do you think it's too soon? Do you think he should be playing now?
Yeah. Because I think like players like him, I think Starr should get some reps. Like, because Starr especially should get some reps because he's missed pretty much almost 2 years. I mean, if you think about it, it's been a long time. So you gotta kind of get that rust off. And I think with Dion, I think it's good to get him in there at least on two plays, whatever, 2 downs or whatever, just to get his breathing back. He has to have that, man, because trust me when I say he's probably not getting that from practice. There's no way they're going hardcore at him right now. And I think you'll even see him more in the 3rd preseason game because he has to get ready, man. And the coach is going to have to know on top of that, is he ready to go week 1? Because if he comes out in preseason, let's say tomorrow and then the next week, and he's just a shell of himself, Houston, we have a problem. So, you know what I mean? Because he can't go in like game 1, fatigue, right? Not moving well because, shoot, Bobby Hart may look better than him. You don't know. Nobody knows at this point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We know he's not. Bobby Hart's not going to look better than him. He's not going to come straight from the hospital and look better than Bobby Hart did. I mean, it was bad.
You got a good.
It was bad. But inside of a lot of the reports this week, we heard, like Dion said in his presser that, thank God for McDermott's practices because he practiced like it's a game. Like the tempo is a game. It's not a game. True. The guys coming around the edge isn't going to be the same as like someone trying to kill him. No one's hitting, Josh or any of the quarterbacks back there. It's more thud than tackle. But he said the pace is very much like a game. So hearing that makes me think that well, it's good that they do it because it's going to help him. But getting in, I would say, drive maybe 2 tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I would think, But once again,
I him in there long because he's not 100% ready, and that's how you get hurt.
Correct. I wouldn't want any starter in there long. I mean, even star. I don't want him in there for that many reps. But they gotta get their leg. I think McDermott will have. That's what he wants to see. He just wants to see those guys, especially guys that miss time, get their legs back, get ready for game one, make sure that they're up for game one. That's all this is about. Because if you think about it, the guys that are starting, that are starters, Devin Singletary, right? Ed Oliver, Levi Wallace. Like, these are all players that need the reps. I feel like it's okay for those guys to play. But Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, those guys, just, enjoy the preseason, man.
Well,
and get ready for game one.
Yeah, McDermott said in his last presser that a lot of the vets won't play, but Dion's going to play. If Dion's going to play, I would imagine Darrell Williams and probably maybe a couple of the other linemen to kind of get a feel for it might play with him, because I can't see it being, maybe Mongo doesn't play. You know what I mean? Right. Because he's not coming off of an injury or anything, and he's looking good in practice from all the reports. So maybe he doesn't, but or maybe they sit Williams and like, okay, Spencer, you don't have to play left tackle, go play right tackle. Let's see what you got over there. I imagine Cody Ford is going to
there's another
play
player
again.
Right.
He looked great last week. If you go back and watch some of the game, I went back and rewatched a little bit of it, and a lot of Singletary runs were behind Cody Ford.
Sure. But that's what we expected when we moved up to draft him, right? Like exactly. these are things that he should be doing, right? But it's cool. Like I said, like right. It's what is it now? It's second season, right? With us, third season, right?
It'll be his third season.
Right.
Year
one,
season with us. He bounced around between guard and tackle, and then they left him a tackle. Year two, they moved him inside and bounced him between the two guards, and then he got hurt. So this year they said, okay, you're going to play right tackle, and we're not moving you. Here you go.
Let's hope for the best, because I want it to work out, man. But like. That's one player like him, and I would say like Harrison Phillips. I'm like so up, I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Well, Harrison looked really good too, though. And I don't want to go too deep
into the
defense because
he did.
Position battles that I want to talk about a little bit is going to be more of the offense this week, and I figured next week we'll kind of talk about the defense. Because then we'll get another week of preseason and get a feel for how those rookies are doing when we go and talk about it. But Harrison played solid last week. Like the Groot sack was because Harrison blew up the backfield. There was nowhere for him to go. And he had 3 or 4 fantastic just like pushes from the one tech.
No doubt.
He reminded me of what he looked like pre-injury. That's what he was looking like pre-injury, and maybe it just takes time. When you blow out both ACLs.
I mean, like I said, week 1 preseason, you did look good, but you got to show me a little bit more. The problem with me and like with Harrison Phillips and me, at least my thinking is like, I thought he did good his rookie season. I didn't think he was great. I know a lot of Bills fans that says he was great. I didn't think he was great. I thought he was good, especially for the pick we got him at. But then he kind of like just degressed, and there's a lot of injuries and this and that. And it just felt like this is his time now. Okay, man, your injuries are up. You got to show us something, man. Like in that position, man. And we're having a tough. Everybody knows we had a tough time on defensive tackles, right? Defensive tackles stopping the run, right? We have to have that guy in there making plays. If you're not going to make a play, then we got to move on. Like that's just the way it is. So he looked good last week, and man, I thought he bulldozed that guy. He was if Rousseau didn't get that sack, I believe he would have got that sack. So
man, it was a race, because if you go back and look at that, it was a race because it was Groot coming from the side, it was Harry coming from the middle, and actually the one that ended up on top of him was Ed Oliver.
Right.
Because Ed Oliver was back there with him.
Yeah.
So,
and Oliver barely played last week. I'm telling you right now, man, Ed Oliver's going to have a good season. I'm expecting him to have a breakout. Yeah.
So one of the comments that were in here says comes in from Michael. It says, "Hey boys, will the Bills finally have a good tight end?" Tight end is one of the groups I want to talk to you about tonight. I will tell you, I truly believe it's Dawson Knox and everybody else. I've listened to content creators over and over and over, especially all week, talking about the tight end and talking about Dawson Knox. I tend to have more faith in Dawson Knox than a lot of others do. He had a couple bad drops at the beginning of camp, but for the last couple weeks, he's been lights out. He made a tough catch last week. He blocks well. They don't give up on their guys easy. And that's one thing about McDermott and Bean. They tend to draft raw prospects and, teach them. And they don't give up on them easy. So, if Knox doesn't do it this year, cut bait. But just know, this year, it's the Knox show and then everybody else. Unless he forces their hand.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. I like Hollister. I like the Hollister pick. I think Tommy Sweeney is just, unfortunately for him, he just can't stay healthy. It's another guy, you know what I mean? But even if he was healthy, I still don't think he would be above Knox. I think Knox is your tight end one. I think him going to the tight end university might have helped. And to be honest with you, I think it's pretty cool, man. I think they would do. I wish they would do that with every position almost. Running back university. Let's get Devin Singletary some work and Zach. That would just be really cool, and you might see that in the future. As far as why not? I'm just saying, obviously, it helped this guy, right? He's learning from some seasons. That last week he only had the one catch, but man, I'll tell you what, it was in traffic, tough catch, and he looked fine. But I will also say this about Dawson Knox: he is known for making great catches and then known for dropping easy ones. Like that's been his whole career since we drafted him. It's unbelievable. You watch something, you're like, wow, what a great catch by Dawson Knox. Wow, did you see him bulldoze that guy? And then wow, did you see him drop that easy ass pass or miss that block, or you know what I mean? Run the wrong route, so that's the things he has to get better at. And it's his time. This is it. You got to show your worth. You went to your tight end university, right? There's nothing else we can do for you. So it's either this or it's just not happening, right? You'll be a second string tight end in the league.
Yeah. I mean, he'll still carve out whether he becomes a superstar or if he just becomes solid. I just want him to be solid. He doesn't have to be a superstar. I don't believe in our offense. We feature the tight end anyways. So we're not looking for someone to be a superstar. Come in, make the catches that you're supposed to make the blocks that you're supposed to make, and move on about your day.
Right. And you got to remember too, with Dawson Knox, he's a late bloomer in the tight end position, right? So he kind of came into it late. He didn't really get a lot of passes thrown to him in college because they had a whole bunch of good receivers, great receivers on that.
DK and AJ Brown there.
Right. So you know what I mean? His first touchdown, I think, was with us. Right? He didn't even have one in college. So what does that tell you? Brandon Bean loves getting upside players, drafting Gregory Rousseau, guys like Josh Allen, right? Dawson Knox, even Devin Singletary. You can even say Devin Singletary, FAU, not a big college, but he did really well. Let's see how he does it. And I think sometimes Bills fans get a little oh God, who is this guy? But man, I'm telling you, most of them worked out so far. I got to say, Devin Singletary, as of now, is our best draft pick of that draft class. As of right now, stat-wise, what he's done in the league. I love Ed Oliver.
And that was year 2,
That's the truth. Yes, year 2. It was in 2019.
Oh, then man, that's disappointing to hear. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not overly sold on Singletary. You really think he's the best of the bunch?
Out of right now, yes, stat wise, what he's contributed to the team, sure. Because Ed Oliver, if we're gonna be real, he's kind of been a disappointment a little bit. Like he did okay. I think his rookie season, he started off slow. Everybody knows this. He
Didn't
picked
Taron
up
Johnson come out of that same draft class?
Yeah, but come on, you're gonna Devin Singletary had 1,000 all-purpose yards his rookie season. He did very well. He led the league in average 5 yards a carry. For a third-round pick, he was a steal. He was their best player that season. There's no doubt. He outdid Ed Oliver. He outdid everybody in that we drafted. And then Ed Oliver struggled last season. Now that's probably because Starr wasn't there. I get that. But as of right now, at least in my opinion, Devin Singletary's so far he's put up the best numbers stats wise, contributed the most. I feel for the Buffalo Bills, and we'll see. And Barrow, he had a hell of a game by the way, week 1 preseason. So just saying.
Okay, I could be wrong. Johnson may have been in the first draft class with Trey. I can't remember, but either way, Singletary has been solid. And what we really need to remember is we're not going to have the best player at every position.
No,
it's not going to happen. We just want, have our superstars and then get some solid guys that can do their job.
Yeah. I think Dawson Knox, though, going back on him, I think he's going to have a better season than a lot of people think, man. I think he has something to prove. I think he has something to prove to himself. I know he heard about the Zach Ertz rumors. I'm sure he wasn't happy about that, even though he might have said he was. Cool, Zach Ertz is coming. No, trust me. No player wants to hear that their position, they're going to be taken, they're going to be in number 2 now. Like this, not happening.
I've heard this. Mr. Diggs just popped something in the chat and said, do you think they might be displaying motor to trade him? I've heard that in a couple different content creator chats. I just can't see that. Like our room is not deep enough for that.
No, that would be a huge mistake. Huge mistake. You saw what Breida did last week. It's funny. I heard some.
So you didn't like Breida's tape?
No, I wasn't impressed, and I haven't been impressed with Breida. Like I thought Matt Breida did good in San Francisco in the beginning, but I felt like he's fell off. He's fell off. Listen, if he couldn't make the Miami Dolphins squad, I'm just saying. Like I don't understand how people are saying he should. And this dates me back to the whole Zach Moss situation. I've gone over this a million times. We draft Zach Moss. Everybody wants Zach Moss to start right away. They have not seen Zach Moss even touch the ball yet. There was no OTAs. There was no preseason last season. Automatically, Zach Moss should be the RB1. Why? What? So now Matt Breida's here. Matt Breida should be the RB1. Why? Because he's faster. So what? That means nothing. You guys saw what he did last week. I wasn't impressed. Were you impressed? He averaged 2 point something a carry. And he had more carries than Devin Singletary. So I think Devin Singletary is more elusive than Breida. I think he's a lot. I think he could take a hit better than Matt Breida. There's no way Matt Breida's RB1. Not happening.
And I don't think he'd be an RB1 either. I don't think he was as bad as a lot of people thought he was last week. He ran hard. He was also running because a lot of what Breida did was try to bounce. And when you have Bobby Hart sitting on the outside trying to block for you, it doesn't help you. He was fantastic in the receiving game, in the passing game.
Oh, very true.
I think he's our best pass catching back. And I think we could find ways to use him that way to, get him out in space and use that speed. Okay. I don't think he's ideal for our smash mouth type of football that they want to do. Like, last year we ran a lot of zone. I don't believe he's a zone runner. He's more of a pin and pull runner. You get those big hogs out in front of him, open a small little lane and let him go,
Well, wasn't that the problem last season though? If we're going to really, it's
we went
funny.
To the zone.
I feel like
zone. We went from pin and pull to zone.
Yeah. I just feel like we blamed Singletary last season and it really wasn't all his fault. I kind of feel like the offensive line was kind of a mess in the beginning. And
the interior of our offensive line was being blown up. We had Brian Winters starting at right guard.
Right. And no Mongo, right? Who is probably right now our best.
Well,
right.
Mongo was back with when Winters. His Mongo was at left, Winters was at right. And then when there was no Mongo, it was Cody Ford at left. You know,
it was bad. It was bad.
And then they realized Brian Winters wasn't the answer, so they went to Botker, and then Botker was a better pass blocker than run blocker. You know, with Singletary, I felt very much like he danced a little bit. He was hesitant to find. He was waiting for the hole to open, and the hole didn't open. So rather than trying to make something, he was 2-3 yards in the backfield because he's a patient runner. You know, he uses his vision. That's his style. There wasn't a whole lot of creases for him. So, you know, where Moss was, I'm going to stick my head down and I'm going to run through the brick wall. So he made yards. Let's go back to what Dayball says. Your job as a running back, make yards, make the block, make the catch, right? He didn't make yards. Was it all his fault? No, that's not the type of runner he was. We didn't have the offensive line that was going to make him look good. But, you know, going into this year, after the first game, it looks like they tweaked some things. They went back to a little bit more of the pin and pull, get those big guys out in front and let them clear the way. And he looked fantastic again. He looked like he looked like Devin Singletary year one.
Right. Exactly. Well, but that goes back to the guard play, though. Once again. And I know people like Zach Moss, and I'm not hating on Zach Moss. I'm not saying, like, I actually liked the pick. When we picked him, I'm like, oh, cool. Mm-hmm. That's a good complimentary back. He's a tough dude, a little bowling ball. But really, I mean, you know, Singletary's 5'7", 210, and I think he's 5'9", 215. So, I mean, they're very – listen, Singletary can take just as good as a hit. Watch any Singletary run. He's not avoiding the hit. Like, he can bulldoze you too. And I wasn't that impressed by Zach Moss. Like, I didn't see him bulldozing that many people. I'm just saying, like, I didn't see it. Maybe he'll have a better season this year, but I wasn't that overly like, oh my God, I thought Singletary had a way better rookie season than Zach Moss' rookie season. Night and day.
He did.
In my opinion.
I'll tell you, he did. He had 1,000 all-purpose yards his rookie season. Zach Moss was injured a lot of his rookie season. He went from turf toe. Well, yeah,
but so was Singletary. Singletary got hurt too, though.
Yeah, but that was early. You have to remember, Singletary did most of his damage once he came back. You know, because Frank Gore was a big part of it in the early year.
Correct. Frank Gore was actually RB1.
Yeah, he was running strong at the beginning of the year. You know, Frank Gore actually won us a game or two because of the way he ran. But, you know, I feel like Zach was finally starting to get, like, towards the end of the year, he was starting to get in the flow. You know, like that Pittsburgh game, he just ate up the clock at the end. You know, he did one after another, just bang, bang, kept giving it to him. And then he got hurt in the playoffs. You know, it just, every time he seems to get some kind of rhythm, he gets hurt. Or
I also feel like, though, the coach, like McDermott has guys he trusts. Like, you ever notice that, like the fullback that was here forever, like just guys he likes, like, and Bills fans are like, get rid of him. Like, we can't stand. And I think, like, he has certain guys, and I think I think they like Singletary, man. I really do. Like, they like him. They liked him ever since they drafted him. Like, so I believe, and I know it's running back by committee, but there's still going to always be a guy that gets more snaps. And no matter what, Singletary last year got more snaps. So it just kind of proves to you. And I just think he's a little bit more ahead of the game as far as the playbook goes. I think they trust him a little bit more than Zach Moss and Breida, especially Breida. Breida just got here. There's no way they're handing the keys to Matt Breida. No. Matt Breida couldn't even get the keys handed to him in Miami. So why the hell would he get it?
Okay, let's take that whole Miami thing, out of context. He looked really good in San Francisco's offense, right?
Years ago.
A lot of people look really good in San Francisco's offense. Breida does. And then he goes to Miami. I don't know, very much like Quentin Spain. Quentin Spain was didn't give up a sack, in 2019. And then we bring him back for 2020, he falls out of favor and he's off the team. Breida, kind of same type of thing happened in Miami. So it's something we'll never know what it is, but something that had to have happened to where he was losing reps to, guys off the street.
Yeah, but I felt his numbers were decreasing in San Francisco too. If you go back and actually look at his stats, I felt like he was already kind of coming down the hill already, like in San Fran. And then he went to Miami. Who knows? I'm just saying, like, I know speed kills, but that doesn't mean everything as a running back.
No.
You know what I mean? Le'Veon Bell isn't the fastest guy in the world, but when he was on his A game, it was patience, and that's what made him really great. Like when he was in Pittsburgh at those years. So, I'm not saying Breida doesn't have patience, but it just, I don't know, man. I just feel like Motor's the guy. I think Motor's going to be the guy going into the season. Can that change? Sure. But being traded away, it ain't going to happen.
Oh no, I don't believe he'll be traded away. It'll be a good battle. Zach's gonna be back this week. Moss will be back this week. So we'll get to see what he can do. We saw what Devin did. Maybe Devin runs away with it. Maybe Zach comes back and shows why they had so much faith in him. Because at the end of last year, he was starting to become the lead back.
They were using him a little bit more.
Yeah. So we'll find out moving forward. That's the best part about this.
Right.
We got 2 more preseason games and then, a long 17-game season to figure our stuff out before the playoffs.
That's right.
So, let's see. Is there anything else in here? I think Brie got hurt in San Francisco. I'm just kind of checking out the chat as well.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
See if there's anything in there. They're talking about Moss being an inept pass pro. Yeah. Well, if you think about Moss only really lost, I think he only lost 1 battle. He only gave up 1 sack. So I've heard a lot of people say that Moss isn't a good pass blocker.
No, he's pretty good, actually.
He was. But you hear about our offensive line and how great they were in pass protection. Some of that is because we have Josh Allen back there who can just escape.
Right. Right.
Brian Winters played about 7 weeks or 8 weeks last year because every time his guy got by him, Josh made the guy miss and he rolled right.
Right. Exactly.
So
no,
that helps.
Yeah. I feel like they're good. I feel like even Singletary is pretty decent. He's a pretty decent blocker. And Zach Moss is too, man. They're like just because they're 5'7", 5'9", shorter backs, bro, they're built, man. They're like little tanks, dude. So they can take on, believe it or not, a linebacker or what. I mean, that's a big dude, man. 5'7", 210, 5'8", 215, whatever Zach Moss is. Those are big dudes, man. Like they're little tanks. So yeah, that's why they got Moss. Trust me, because Moss is almost the split image of Devin Singletary. The only difference is I think Singletary's a little bit more elusive. That's about it. Speed, same to me. I feel like they both can take a hit and block off a hit, get a little bit more yards after that. But they both lack speed. That's
yeah. I like this one from Spin. He wrote in here. He's like, I think all the runs versus Detroit was more about the run blocking scheme versus the running back evaluation. I absolutely agree.
Oh yeah.
Because they ran both last week a little bit. They ran a little bit of pin and pull, and then they ran a little bit of the zone concept. I think they're still trying to figure out what kind of scheme they're going to run this year. And that's
for sure.
Then that's a great segue into the offensive line battles. So as we start talking about the offensive line, we talked a little bit on Cody Ford. I will tell you, I am a Cody Ford stan, and I will be the first person to say, did he look great his rookie year at tackle? No. Was he decent? Yes. Look at Cody Ford his rookie year at right tackle, then look at Bobby Hart last week. An average tackle versus someone who shouldn't be on your team. Let's be honest here. He is Cody Ford at tackle, Darrell Williams? No. Was he a decent right tackle? Yes. Was he better than what we had previous? Yes.
Yeah.
However, I prefer him on the inside with that girth and the big man strength, the road grader that he was coming out of college. I'll tell you, I'm big in the draft. I love reading up on the draft and scouting guys. And I thought he was going to be I thought he could be an all pro or Pro Bowl guard because of his skill sets. So we're about to find out, right?
Yeah, for sure. The offensive line, and it's funny because everybody's worrying about running back position, tight end. I worry about the offensive line, man. That scares me more than anything. I'll be real with you, man, because if one guy goes down, any of these guys, man, we don't have the greatest. Spencer Brown's still learning. Obviously Bobby Hart hopefully doesn't even make the team, but we don't have a lot of depth in offensive line. And to be fair, not a lot of NFL teams do. Like that's one position that's tough, man. Like offensive line. If you have a good offensive line, man, God, that's awesome, man. It's hard, man. That's
so
the
let me ask you this
main
question.
position. Yeah.
I like what you said there. Let me ask you this question. Did you think we have a good offensive line last year?
Our offensive line was weird. I thought we had a good pass blocking offense. I thought we had an awful run blocking offense. If that makes any sense. I felt like it wasn't great pass blocking, but I thought it was good. Josh sometimes sat back there, like literally stand. He stood. I mean, I've never seen, like, it's rare that a quarterback can actually just look around. Like, he wasn't hopping or nothing. So they gave him a lot of time, but I felt like the run blocking was a major problem. And that's why it felt like week 1 in preseason, I felt like, too, they were testing that. And I feel like this week coming up is going to be total opposite. I think we're going to pass a little bit more. Like, we're going to get into that part of the game this second preseason. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like this first week's, that's what we had that's where we failed last season. That's the truth. Everybody knows that. And it wasn't Singletary. I'm not saying it wasn't. Let me take that back. It was a little bit on Singletary too, but it was a lot on the offensive line. It really was. Like, they're a lot to blame there. And I felt like Dable just was like, you know what? It ain't working. We're going to start passing. Like, we are a passing team. Like I felt like we were trying to be a little running in the beginning. And then eventually Dable's like, bro, all right, scratch that shit. Like, let's just throw 50 times a game.
I love this comment. It says Madden glitch. Like when he was back there, because there was a time that he stood and it looked like he was standing still. Like, was the TV on pause? Because he was stood there for like 3 or 4 seconds before he threw the ball. Like,
it wasn't hopping around, nothing, just standing like a statue, man. Just kind of slowly looking around. Like, wow, man. Like that, you can't ask for better than that. So yes, they did a good job
with that. When that happened, we had Brian Winters at right guard.
Yeah.
So knowing that we brought in, we brought back Bacher, we brought back Ford, we brought back Feliciano, we brought in Lamp, who we haven't seen yet, and a couple other guys.
Yeah.
Do you really feel the offensive line could be any worse than it was last year?
No, for sure. It's gotten better, but that doesn't mean I'm not worried about it. Like, I think Forrest Lamp will make the team. He's a vet, been in the league a little bit. I think he's actually pretty decent, way better than Bob Hurt. But I still feel like Mitch Morse scares me. Like, he has concussions and he hasn't really had a full season yet, I don't believe, with us without getting hurt. If he goes down, then we're switching, right? Then Mongo's going to center, and then we got to shift the whole line again. Like, that's another. And then Cody Ford hasn't been healthy since he's been drafted here. That worries me. Then we got to shift the line again. So those two guys worry me. I'm not worried about Mongo. I'm not worried about Darrell Williams. You know what I mean? Like, those guys, I know what they can do. I've seen it. Like, they're good. It's just those two guys that they worry me a little bit.
Where I'd be worried on the offense line if someone got hurt, it would be at left tackle. If Dion got hurt and something happened to him, I would be worried because Spencer Brown at this point, and who knows, in 4 weeks when we play, he may be way ahead of where he is today. He may show it, but if he got hurt today, and we saw what Bobby Hart was, we don't want him. So what do we do? Who goes over there? Do we put Williams over there because he has some experience over there? He wasn't real good over there. That's why they, in Carolina, that was one of the problems. So I know.
But Dion's been relatively healthy. Like, he's never been an injury. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, guys that you got to concern about.
That's really my only concern on the offensive line is if Dion goes down, we don't have Ty Nsekhe in our pocket anymore.
Well,
he was a solid backup.
I've heard that he's one of the names that I've been hearing that they could pick up.
Backup. I mean, he's in Dallas.
But probably
with their offensive line troubles.
Probably.
I mean, they
there's going to be a lot.
Almost our whole offensive line last year.
Yeah, but Ty's not what he wants. What you're remembering to Ty with us when he he's lost a lot of step, bro. I mean, he'd be
Yeah.
cool to have. I mean, better than Bobby Hart, right? But I feel like we're definitely going to be picking up some scraps because there's going to be players that are cut, some seasoned vets, some offensive line. That's the way it works, man. Like, trust me, Brandon Bean's watching the every team's cuts. Yeah, of course. And that's the one position. Forget everything else. That's the one position I'm trying to pick up players. I don't need another running back. I don't need another tackle. I don't need another edge. You know, definitely don't need another receiver. I need offensive linemen. I need guys in here just in case, man.
Yeah. Left tackle will be the one area that I'm a little concerned that we're light on. Because Bobby Hart is not the answer. You know, but we'll see what happens.
That worries me there.
I'm not. He's a veteran. You know McDermott is veterans.
A veteran of giving up sacks.
That's good. That's good.
God,
I saw one in here. You know that one of the chats said they can move Ford to tackle because he does have experience there. But then
we love moving forward.
Well, that's the
Ford's
problem
everywhere.
That's the problem. Ford has never had a chance to get comfortable at a home spot. Do you really want to move him again? Like last week was, he's in the right mind space. He came out and he talked about it. He looked good.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who said they've never seen him look good. He looked good at guard. Let's leave him alone and let him play there. Figure out our tackle backups. I have a feeling it's going to be Spencer Brown. Whether he's ready or not, it's going to be Spencer Brown.
Yeah, me
and
too.
if something happens to Dion, I have a feeling, Josh is just going to keep an eye on his, his blind side and know he's going to have to roll.
Right. Or get a running back or fullback or tight end on that side.
There's someone over there to help him out,
Yeah, bro.
There's Bates. Oh yeah, there's Bates. Bates can play left tackle.
Yeah,
too.
Bates is Bates. I like Bates. I like Bates.
Spen put that out there. Spen said, don't forget about Bates. So
Doyle.
And I don't
Did
think
he say Doyle?
No,
Doyle is not.
He said Doyle's not ready.
No, he's ready for the practice squad. That's the only thing he's ready for.
So let's move on down. We talked about our O-line depth. We talked about our tight ends. Let's talk about Mitchie starters. Mitchie Biscuits is going back to Chicago. I know today Tariq Cohen came out and told the fans anybody who heckles Mitchie Biscuits, is a weirdo. Is what he called him. He said you're a weirdo. Don't heckle the man, because he gets a bad rap. He led him to 2 playoffs. Now,
well, they're gonna boo him more now. You know that, right? Like when you tell somebody not to do something, they do it even more, right? Like it's like a bully, right? Don't leave me alone. It's like, no, bro. He's gonna get booed big time. Even though it's ridiculous, like you said, he got him 2 playoffs. He wasn't that. They're acting like this guy was like
a bum,
Ryan Leaf or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, but it's all good. He'll be our backup.
In the playoffs last year, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he throw a bomb to a receiver that hit him in the numbers and he dropped it in the end zone?
That
would have given them the lead.
Right.
So
correct. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. He was a Nickelodeon most valuable player.
That's right.
Okay, so he has that award, by the way. Chicago. He's not giving it back.
Right. Oh God. And okay, Hidden Dog just put in there. Darnold and Mitch got bad raps because they were stuck with Nagy and Gase. Do not put Mitch in the same conversation as you put Darnold. We haven't seen Mitch.
Bad.
Mitch is a good quarterback. Is he elite? Should he have been the number 2 overall pick? No, he shouldn't have. He went ahead of Mahomes. He went ahead of Watson. That's just bad management selection. He didn't ask to go number 2 overall. He didn't. Who knows what Mitch would have been if he would have been put in the Kansas City situation. a lot of people tend to forget it's about where you go and the situation that you're put in.
100%.
If you succeed or if you fail. He was put in he wasn't put in the best situation,
dude,
in Chicago either.
100%. That goes back to almost a lot of quarterbacks that don't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, man, Joey Harrington for the Lions. Like, I feel like teams can ruin
Anybody
a guy.
Who's gone to the Lions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. But I mean,
that's overcome it is Matt Stafford, and that's just because he's so freaking talented.
Well, he was
couldn't run him.
Exactly. But I'm talking about just in general, like quarterbacks. Because quarterbacks are weird that way. Like, I feel like they lose confidence quick, right? Like, so like when they're in a bad spot, like for instance, Josh Rosen. I know I'm bringing that name up, but he's done. Like, even if he had skill, he's done. Confident wise, getting cut so many times, bro. That's a wrap, bro. Josh Rosen is over, and Mitch Trubisky. This is good for him because he could start fresh, man. Right? Darnold with the Jets. God, man, Gase, like, come on, man. Like, the Jets have been a nightmare. Like, they're going to ruin the kid they just got now, man. They got no good backups, no veteran backups, man. This poor kid's going to go to the sideline, nobody to talk to. It's bad, man. Like yeah. So to what I was saying, if you go to a bad team, bad organization, it could ruin you, man. It could ruin your confidence, be done. Like, same thing with Tua over at Miami, what they did to him last season. I felt like that had to have messed his confidence up a little bit. Had to have. By pulling him out like that, here and there. If you're going to call him your starter, then do it, right? And I had no problem with that. Like, I was like, okay, you made the move, right? You put Fetz on the bench, okay, but this is it. You can't. There's no going back. And then you're going to pull him on some games, and then you're going to put him back. Like, it's kind of like, and if he's cool with that, oh, I'm good with that. Like, I understand. No, what? Like, if we did that to Josh, bro, come on, man. Like, Josh, I would assume
Josh
would
wouldn't have said he was cool with that. Josh wouldn't have said he was cool with that.
No, right. Josh would have been like, Dable, what the, like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, really? You're going to put fucking Nate Peterman in the game? You know what I mean? Like, so.
You're going to pull me when I have a chance for a fourth quarter comeback? It wasn't like they pulled him because they were down long. They pulled him when they were in striking distance and they needed a drive. They're like, okay, we don't trust you yet. We're going back to this guy.
But yet you'll start next week.
Yeah.
Like, what? So, like, yes. So, to answer your question, Mitch, I felt like, now, Chicago, to be fair, they didn't do that to Mitch. Felt like they played him, they started him. It just didn't work out, and that's okay. I felt that's okay. To me, what Chicago did with Mitch, they kept him long enough. I felt like they just moved on, and I feel like they should have boomed, but it is what it is. I think that's every sport. When a player leaves, almost every player is going to get booed when you go to another team.
Yeah,
just the way it works.
And with Mitch, he spent 4 years there. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option. They gave him all the chances. It wasn't the right situation for him. So he came here. He gets to sit back, get his confidence back, be with an elite offense.
Yep.
And
learn.
Learn. And then when Dayball gets a head coaching next year, he'll go with him.
Right.
He has a year in.
Yeah. And he's behind Ken Dorsey, who's going to help him more. Watching Josh Allen, who's obviously better. Seeing and who knows, man? Does he go with Dayball? I'm just saying he could,
I think
right?
So.
Dayball could go to a team. It'd be so funny, but I wouldn't doubt it.
It depends on who the quarterback is, where they go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, normally when a coach goes to a new coach, you usually got a
bad situation.
Right.
A bad situation. Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right.
But I'm trying to think around the league, and I can't think of a ton of really bad situations that they have there.
Oh, week 6, you'll know.
Who do we got week 6?
No, I'm just saying by week 6.
By week 6,
that's when people start talking, right? Like, that's this guy's terrible.
I'm thinking guys that are like on the edge, like Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is kind of there. Baker, like as much as they're talking about Baker Mayfield, he's had one good season.
Bro, they hooked Baker. They hooked Baker up since he's been there, man. Like they gave him. They gave him Ferraris and Porsches and dude, Josh came into like fucking like Pintos and and like beat up 1989
But
Ford
you know what?
Focuses. You know, like,
Josh is better for it.
oh no,
Josh is better for it.
100%, no doubt. Like that just proves you how great Josh is mentally too. To go in, bad team, man, no receivers, none of those guys are even in the league, I don't think anymore. Just and he grinded, man. He just got better. Like his confidence didn't go down. He didn't lose that. You know, he went into the next season even grinded more. Stats went higher. I mean, dude, he's gotten better and better each season. So for sure. But yeah, no, that didn't. He's like, fuck it. I just want to play football. I don't care who's out there catching. Like, I'm just gonna throw it to you, whoever your name is.
Oh, I like this comment. Where did it go?
Zay Jones.
Stefan, Steelers maybe. Could Mike Tomlin be on his way out the door? And could the Steelers need a new head coach? And with Big Ben stepping away, hey, that's outside the box. But if it goes bad, I can see that.
Tomlin's a hell of a coach, man.
He is. But you know as well as I do, it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are, because all the greats, all of them at one time or another end up running on a losing season, and they get sent out.
Sure.
Riverboat Ron was a fantastic head coach, and he got let go to bring in someone new, because at some point, the voice needs to change. Because
no doubt.
If you don't continue to mix your message, the people that have been there tend to tune it out, and if you just become the same guy. That's why I'm really impressed with what Bean and McDermott has done, because I feel like to the media, Sean's message is always the same: trust the process, do your job, very much that way. But he must be changing his message internally, because all the guys are still bought in, and we're going on 5 years with a lot of these guys.
Oh, dude, for sure. Dude, I know probably a lot of Bills fans, maybe some, just became Buffalo fans, or maybe the last 2-3 seasons. They're younger, maybe they're in their 20s. Dude, I'm 42. I've been watching since 89. We had our highs from 89 to 95, let's say, and then it was just total shit. Terrible GMs, terrible coaches. And that's where it all starts, from the top, right? You got to get a good ownership to hire a good GM, to hire a good coach. Like, we just never did that. Like that's where we failed miserably. Like, we just got whoever and started. Oh, we think we could bring back Marv Levy for one season to be GM. I'm like, no, man, just get some. So it took that long, 20-something years, to finally get like a guy that knows what the hell he's doing, and a coach that knows what the hell he's doing. And now it shows. Like, this is how it's done, man. And thank God, man, because we needed this, man.
Yep. So, let's quickly throw it to the QB3 or practice QB, because I really don't think they're keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster. No. With the numbers game that we have going on with like a D end and D line and receiver, I just don't see us keeping a third. So when we go up, we have Davis Webb versus Jake Fromm. I believe Webb is in the lead. Based off of the unofficial depth chart that they sent out, but then also understanding what Webb's role has been, and where he wants to go. And then just based off of last week's game, if we just go by play, I mean, it's hard to evaluate a guy when he's constantly on his back because his left tackle doesn't know how to block anybody.
Right.
No,
I've never been a Fromm fan. I think Fromm's so limited, to be honest with you, man. Like, limited arm. He's not the fastest guy. He's not slow, but he's very below average quarterback, in my opinion. I felt like when we drafted him, hey, who cares? It's a late round pick. Maybe you trade him off to some team later in the future, to like the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Like, they're
how many quarterbacks are they going to take from us?
You know what I mean? Like, we'll ship you off Bobby Hart and Fromm for a 4th round pick.
They have a backup in Nate Peterman, and he looks fantastic.
Always does.
He's a preseason darling.
Yes, he's the best. AJ looked great the other day. McCarron, too.
He looked like hot. AJ McCarron looked like hot garbage in Atlanta. He threw like 2 picks, couldn't hit wide open guys.
God.
I mean, it was bad. I didn't watch a lot of that game, but I saw some more of the highlights, and like the highlights that showed, unless he looked fantastic outside the highlights, and they were just setting him up. He didn't look great. But Fromm reminded me of a Kmart version of Chad Pennington.
He just reminds me of Kmart, man. Like, he's bad, bro. like he has to
he didn't go look horrible last week.
No, he made come on. He's going against he's going against like fourth guys that aren't even probably going to be on the Lions. Like, come on, man. Like, no. I don't want to hear it.
They are in the NFL. They're not.
Yeah, so is Bobby Hart. And he's really bad, bro.
And he's going up against other guys who are in the NFL. So it happens.
No, man.
However, like honestly, when we drafted Fromm, I was thinking, okay, we have a a generic version of Chad Pennington. Really smart, because he was smart enough that he beat out he took Jacob Easton's job, who's now the number 2 and probably going to be the starter for the Colts, and he made the Bears first round quarterback. What's his name?
Fields had
to transfer because Fields couldn't beat him out in Georgia.
Yeah, but college is different, bro. Honestly, and I'll throw a great guy. Ken Dorsey was awesome in college. Means nothing when you get to the pros, right? Ken Dorsey, mind wise, he's an unbelievable talent, like for football knowledge, but he just didn't have the ability to make it in the NFL as a quarterback. And that's okay. And look what Ken Dorsey's doing now. And we talked about this with Davis Webb. Very smart kid, man. He could potentially be in the future like a Ken Dorsey. Jake Fromm, I don't care. Like, just cut Jake Fromm. Like, we don't need Jake Fromm. Cut him. He's going to be on the way. It don't matter. If you really want to pick him back up, he'll be there. No one's picking up Jake Fromm. No big deal.
Yeah, we'll see. I love this one from Daniel Garies. Paul will be outraged at all your trash talking of his beloved AJ McCarron. And you know what? I'll tell Paul, come get it. I will trash talk AJ all day long. I was so mad when we signed him. You just don't sign Alabama quarterbacks. They play with nothing but first rounders across the board. Like everyone's all in love with Mac Jones right now. Like, the national media is all in love with him. The dude is throwing checkdowns all day long. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. He is a when the NFL season starts, when he gets in though, he's slow as he's so slow. He's so slow. Yeah, bro. He's a pocket passer. He's like a 1980s quarterback, man. He's gonna get killed.
I don't know what it.
He's so
okay. You saying that kind of made me think of something. I don't know what it is with these quarterbacks coming out. Tua said it last year. Chase Claypool said it last year. They come out and and now the Chicago quarterback, he just told me his name. I can't remember it now. Fields just came out and said it's so slow. We heard it. We thought it was easier. Like, dude, you said it's slow when in a preseason game 1 at a vanilla defense.
Right.
Like, what are they doing? Like, do
setting themselves up?
Do they not have a PR staff? Do they not have a PR staff to shut them up?
Apparently not, bro. He's setting himself up, bro, because it ain't slow, bro. Everybody knows that. Every position knows that. The game is way different, and when you go in the NFL in the regular season compared to preseason.
But do you remember
all this is Tecmo Bowl, man? Yeah, dude, it was unbelievable.
Said that last year. He's like, I thought it was going to be harder, and then congratulations, it was harder. Then you start getting pulled.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, Tua had a solid season. Like, I went back and looked at the numbers today because there was a big Twitter debate about Bills fans and Dolphins fans. They got into it, but I'm like, he had a solid season, rookie season, and he was a rookie. Like, really, he did. Like, you take.
I disagree.
Like,
I don't know if it was solid.
64%
Okay.
completion percentage. He only played so many games, but his touchdown to quarterback or touchdown to interception ratio was 2-1. He was moving and they won. That's a solid rookie season.
So I'll debate you on that one.
Okay.
I think he had an okay rookie season. I think that
define
team was,
okay.
I'm gonna tell you. I think that team. I think they have a very good tight end. I think they have a very good O-line. I think they have a very good coaching staff. I felt like that team was already set up for him, and I felt like he played it very safe. A lot. If you look at his yards per throw, they're like 4 point something. Like he didn't take chances. He was very check downs or short passes. If you look at the games that Fitz played compared to Tua, Fitz gave his receivers play. Like he threw the ball deep. He gave him an option, right? I don't think Tua ever did that. Tua just played very, very safe. And I didn't see any wow plays by Tua at all through the whole season. So even if you go back to Josh's rookie season, for as bad as Josh played, mind you, no receiver help, no help, whatever. At least you can look back at that rookie season and say, wow, did you see that throw by Josh? Or wow, did you see that run? Or did you see that play? Like there was glimpses of saying, wow, okay, this guy's going to be the real deal. I didn't see that by Tua. I saw nothing but just safe. We're going to give him some safe plays, a check down or, a short route play here, a little hook. I didn't see anything that wowed me by Tua to say, man, watch out for this guy years to come. Now we'll see. Year two. But I didn't
the Chiefs game. I'm telling you, he went throw for throw with Mahomes and Chiefs game. And I'm not a Tua fan. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not.
Did you see the Bills game?
That game, yeah, they packed it up. Let's be perfectly honest. After we went up big, they all packed it up and they went home. I'm just saying, I saw glimpses of why they drafted him high last year. I thought he was solid.
I don't think he's the guy, man.
Okay.
I think, I think they're going to be. I think this season, if they do what they did to him last season, it's a wrap for Tua. If they pull him for Jacoby at any point during the season, any game, it's over. Unless it's an injury for Tua in Miami. And it could happen because it happened in Arizona with Josh Rosen. One and done. This could be two and done. I'm just saying. Right now, coaches, I feel like they're just quick to go, you know what? He ain't the guy. Time to move on. And it's very possible. And by the way, Miami, it's already shown they will sign a guy and really cut him right away. All the free agents they had last season, Shaq Lawson, the guy from New England that went back, they cut him. They didn't even last. You could see, their coaching staff, if they're not happy with you, it seems like they're cutting you. So it wouldn't shock me if he, let's say, if their offense is, just not moving right with him, they put Jacoby in and it's a wrap, bro. There's no going back. You ruined the kid's confidence. He's done.
I wouldn't go there, but okay. We can have difference of opinions. It's okay.
Yeah.
But let's move on. We talked about our QB3. Let's talk about wide receivers. The fun group. Last week we didn't see much. Let's be perfectly honest. We didn't see much at all. What we ran majority of the time? Did we see Kumaro?
We did. He was on the field, but he didn't get any ball. I don't think he had any passes thrown his way. I could be wrong, but I don't. He didn't. I know he didn't have any receptions.
Okay.
But I did see him on the field. He was on the field at one point.
We saw Hodgins make a catch, get tackled, get hurt.
Yeah. Right. That's not good. Not good for him.
Which wasn't good for him. Was impressed with Lance Lenore. Thought he ran some really good routes.
Yeah.
And then Stevenson.
Yeah, man.
I thought he played well.
Stevenson's my guy, man. I've been saying that since we drafted him. I felt like for where we drafted him, 6th round, man, that was a steal, man. That guy, he played for a decent college. It wasn't the greatest college, but Houston's not bad. And if you look at his seasons with them, except for the one he was injured, he put up 1,000 yards, man, 2 or 3 times. He averaged 15 points something a catch. he was the real deal. He's super fast. He runs like a 4.3. I think what they're going to do with Marquez, I don't know if you'll see him so much on the field receiving, but I think they're going to have him as a kick returner and McKenzie as a punt returner. I don't think they trust him as punt returner, but I think I could see them doing that, man. But man, dude, he has electric speed, bro. Like he is our fastest player.
Mhm.
Speed kills. Everybody knows that. Dude, I was definitely impressed. I want to see more Jake Kumaro, definitely, because all the talk. Obviously, last week we didn't see anything because they weren't throwing, but I think this week you'll see a little bit more Kumaro involved because they got to see. They got to see if they want to keep him or not. I think they're going to keep 7 receivers. That's my
Really?
thinking. But
You have 7?
I have 7. Yeah, because Marquez. Okay. I think they're going to keep Kumaro and Marquez.
And Marquez. Okay.
Yep.
I would like to see this week. I'd like to let them, see them let Mitchie throw the ball. I'd like to see, Davis, McKenzie, and Kumaro out there to start.
Right.
I don't need to see our top 3. Well, Diggs is hurt, but I don't need to see Beasley or Sanders. I would like to see those other ones get in there with the ones, see what they have. And then I'd like to see them sprinkle in Stevenson and Hodgins if he's good, to see what they have with that unit, and then make the decision.
For sure. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see Diggs, Cole, or Emmanuel for the whole preseason. I don't even think you're going to see Josh in preseason. Yeah,
I don't
those guys
so either.
None of those guys are going to be playing. But I think like
even though Josh
Hodgins,
did say he wants to play because he wants to get hit.
They all
the season starts.
Well, he's a football guy. You'll get hit when you first week of the season. I don't need you getting hit on some bullshit play by the Chicago Bears. Like on a preseason game, it means nothing. Like you're fine, bud. Like I get it because he's a football guy. He loves football. Of course he wants that, but the coaches don't want that. They're not going to play him. You know what I mean? Like you got to do the right thing.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Okay, so we really can't evaluate the receiver battle, not knowing what happened in the game because we didn't really get to see a whole lot last week. So hopefully tomorrow we'll see more throwing and we can start doing evaluation.
Yeah.
So I'll pin
I think we will.
this position battle till next week's show, and then we'll talk about it.
Right.
So let's move down. So what are you excited about for the game tomorrow? Who are you excited to see?
I want to see more Dawson Knox. I want to see him get some more reps in there for sure because only one catch last week. It wasn't enough for me. Trubisky, honestly, I know a lot of people are excited about. I don't care. Like I don't expect to see him in the regular season. So it's cool for him. I'm glad for him if he does well, but that's not what's important to me because I don't want to see him during the regular season because then there's a problem, right? But I want to see more Marquez Stevenson. The Powell thing, bro, like kick returning, like I was so mad that they kept having him do kick returns last week. I'm like, bro, get this guy off the field already. Like he was doing terrible in my opinion. Like I want to see more Marquez. Let's see if he's the guy kick return. I want to see him. I want to see our defense. Again, I want to see more Gregory Rousseau. I want to see more Boogie, Obata, those guys for sure. And that's it, really. The offensive side of things, man, I'm not worried about. Like, I'm really not. Oh, and Dion. I do want to see how Dion comes back from that. Like, how many snaps he gets. But as far as quarterback goes, I think it's just a cool story, but I'm not looking forward to Mitch. You know what I mean? Because he's not going to really do anything during the regular season. This is just his way of saying F you to them,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I'd like to see Mitch go out there and throw the ball around. I'd like to see how he handles the passing game. Just in case something does happen to Josh, I'd like to feel comfortable that he can handle it.
Yeah.
I would also like to see him do well because I want to be able to evaluate the receivers. If we go out there and we start chucking the ball around, we can truly get an evaluation going. And that's what granted the coaches have an evaluation going, with Josh there during practice, but the fans don't get to see that. So I want to see that. I want them to go out there, throw the ball around, make plays and move it down, score, let's pretend like it's the regular season. Start putting some points on the board.
It's too. I actually didn't mind last week too on the field goals because it kind of shows you how good Matt Hawk is at holding the ball. That's the thing that Bojo didn't do well.
Yep.
Bojo was a pretty good punter, but I think he just struggles so much holding the ball right for Bass. And it showed you last week, bro, those kicks for Bass were dead on. If you look at last season, they were either way far right or far left. Like, and it was usually because Bojo was laces in or the ball was down or like he seemed like he struggled with that. And I think that's a huge reason why they went and got Hawk, a veteran. He can hold the ball better. And it showed, man. Like, bro, his kicks were like, no question. Last season, I was like, you know.
Well,
and that was mainly.
Jason Sanders was one of the best kickers in the league last year. The Miami Dolphins kicker. He was money.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he had Hawk. And, you know, ask Tony Romo. Tony Romo will tell you all about how it's the holder's responsibility.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah. You know? So I was cool with that last week. I was like, okay. All right, also, cool. Now that's out of the way. The running game. Okay.
Hawk, what I also liked about Hawk was his precision, you know, with the directional kicks. Bojo had a leg that was just a booming leg. Yeah. But he couldn't control it half the time.
Right.
You know,
that's true.
And that was an issue. But with Hawk, he more precision. Doesn't quite have the leg. Granted, he did boot one 54 yards out of bounds, which was fantastic.
Yeah, he had a decent punt.
But, you know, it's one of those things of you take the good with the bad. I don't plan on us punt much this year anyways. So as long as he can hold the ball correctly, I'm good.
Right. It's all I want.
Right. I wanted to talk about Obata and Basham a little bit because a lot of people were giving, you know, Obata, you know, oh, strong game. I guess I was expecting more because I didn't see the flash plays that I heard about in camp. Maybe it's just me. So I want to get your take on that. Was it just me, or did you feel that you didn't see the hype that was behind him?
Well, remember, he's, you know, that's a hell of a story, by the way, Obata. And he has improved each season. And his numbers have gotten better. I like him. He had that sack, but it was like low, you know, or whatever. I thought he did okay. I thought he did for game one, week one. I remember all these guys. Week one, it for a lot of players, there's a little rust going on, right? Like you gotta. I think this week he's going to show a little bit more. I think all of them are, even Gregory. Like, but no, I thought they all did well. It just it was some dumb penalties that really kind of set them back. But let's say they didn't get the penalties, you'd be like, okay, you got a sack there. You get, you know, same, bro. I'm excited for this defense. I truly am. I feel like we have some young dudes on this team, man, that are ready to roll. I love our edge now. Like, I just do, man. I think Jerry Hughes is here to stay for this season. Mari Addison, I don't think we're getting rid of them. I like their rep counts are going to be a lot less. That means they're going to be fresher coming in. Bro, man, I feel like we're going to get to the quarterback a lot. I don't think Obata's going anywhere. I think they like him. They see the potential with Obata.
Oh, I saw the potential, but all I heard all camp was how he was, you know, being, you know, wreaking havoc. And I guess I didn't see that. Or maybe I was just expecting more and I need to tone down my expectations.
I mean, that could be.
You know, and then there's Basham, who I felt was playing Madden and just kept hitting the circle button as he kept trying to spin by guys.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I was really disappointed when I was looking at Basham's play.
Yeah, I think he'll get better. I think between the two on Boogie and Gregory, I feel like Boogie's going to be a good player, but I feel like Gregory's going to be a great player. There's like a big difference there. So like I think maybe Boogie's a little bit ready now because he's played a little bit more college. But man, who knows, man? Gregory Rousseau seems like a smart kid. Maybe he soaks this in and he's ready to roll, man. Because I mean, it seemed like that week one. So we'll see how that goes. But Boogie seems like a smart player. Like I said, smart player. I feel like he's going to be a good rotational player. But I think Rousseau, man, I think, boy, his ceiling is super duper high, man.
I like this comment from John Herring. He said the right tackle damn near got his quarterback killed because he pushed Obata into the low hit.
Yeah,
yes,
bro.
He did.
It's true. He did. And by the way, that shouldn't have been a penalty if he was slightly pushed into the quarterback.
It came out. I was listening to think it was Joe Marino's podcast I was listening to, and he read the rule. It was a penalty. Whether you're pushed or not, if you make forcible contact to the lower leg, it's still a penalty.
No, I think you heard it wrong. I think if you get pushed into him, it's not a penalty. Yeah, you got to look that up.
But he was pushed, but then he kept going.
Yeah,
he didn't
exactly.
Get pushed, he fall into him. He pushed. He was on the ground, and then he grabbed him, and he made forcible contact, which drew the flag.
That's gonna be tough, man, for a lot of like. I don't know how you don't, because I don't know. I guess that's the rules, but I don't like that. Like if you're gonna. That's like almost like tripping. Like I don't. That's nothing to do with the knee. Like I personally don't like that. Like I think that's a crappy call. And by the way,
isn't that clipping?
No. But isn't there a new rule? There's a new rule now, by the way, which you're going to see a lot of early on flags by this, where a player cannot block 5 yards past downfield, go low. Yeah, below the waist. And bro, that's been like that since football, bro.
Well,
like
you know what
a lot of these guys are going to have to get.
When I heard that rule, I instantly thought of that block that Diggs made to get Dawson Knox the touchdown, where he cut the guy at the goal line and Knox went over the top.
Can't do that no more.
Can't do that anymore.
Bro, a lot of these receivers that do that, like the smaller guys, Isaiah McKenzie, bro, they all do that, bro. All go low, bro. They can't, and they're gonna have to man up and block. Like there is no more of that. So you're gonna see a lot of flags early on, I think, until players adapt to that new rule. So that's something to look out for too. And last week you saw too a lot of flags, bro, at the end. A ton of penalties, bro.
If I'm not, I might be not. I don't know if I'm right on this. I thought it went the other way as well from the defense, where the defense couldn't take the offensive legs out like that when they're going to block. Like if they're going to tackle, they can tackle low, but when like linemen's coming at them and they're like the chop,
it's the same way.
That was taken away as well. Outside,
right. Correct. Okay. I think it's both ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, bro.
All right. So we're about an hour 20 into this. We'll start. We'll start wrap it up. So what do you got going on over on the Mafia Sports Report?
So guys, I go on live every Saturday at 7:00. And then starting the regular season, I'm going to be having like an AFC East shakedown. So it's going to be me. I got a Dolphin fan that's going to be joining my show. I got some Patriot podcast guys. I'm still looking for a Jets guy. Apparently there's no Jets fan or podcast guy that's willing to hop on yet. So, and then I'm going to be doing pregame, postgame on game days. So if we're on a Sunday or Monday, whatever. Other than that, that's it, man. I just pop on some videos here and there, and then I go live from time to time.
Okay. And you can find me randomly on Twitter at Apex006. Hashtag does have a golf charity tournament coming up on September 11th. If you can't make the charity tournament but still want to do dinner with the guys, you can do that as well. And we'll play a little clip on our way out that promotes that. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week right here.
Come join Paul and Mario at Diamond Hawk Golf Course Saturday, September 11th for the Hashtag Sports Not So Invitational. Come golf with these idiots in this 4-person scramble, which will feature golf with cart, dinner, hole-in-one contest, silent auction, and a live show with all proceeds benefiting Matthew 25 Farms. Registration could be found in the description of this video, and if you'd like to sponsor, email us at htagsports@gmail.com to help raise money for this great charity.
Are you signing up for that?
Yeah, I know.